All right. Hey, Jim. Hey, Dave. We're going to get back into this slowly but surely. Of course, I got to get up from the bed after. Whoops. Errol. Okay, yeah, there's a lot going on here that you guys don't see. I'll put that over there, phone over there, throw that over there, throw both of those over there. Yep, there's a lot of that. You, you, and then we're gonna rotate on around here. Come over here. Pull this up. All right, I think we are good. Need to make this smaller, like so. There is. All right, so we're gonna be taking a look at this again because I really want to finish this because it so far it looks really, really good. I've made a couple changes since the last time that we have worked with it that we're going to take a look at here in a moment. So, since the last time that we've worked on it, I've removed some of the stuff off the wings. In particular, the fan that was down here and then the engine that was out here on this edge. I've replaced it with these. These are just a little bit smaller, but can still be rotated downwards, like so. It's hot. I need to turn the fan on because I'm almost sweating. I had this issue on the last model where if you removed this portion back here, there was nothing to hold up the back end. So to fix that, I had basically another thing that this would, and it would fold down. It did not look good to me. It was passable, but it wasn't the best. So what I did was I took these are cars in the series that had just this interesting middle section that I like because it's an efficient use of space and a good use of this piece where you can open up and there's crystals on the inside. So you can see I've got two of the large crystals here. And then this cockpit also opens up. And this looked good, and it already had these here for the wheels that were supposed to be on it. This piece had pegs on the side. It was this type of wheel back here, these orange ones. And I liked that about it. So all I did was I used two Technic pins right here and right there to flip this on upside down. I extended out the top of this just a little bit, came in and smoothed this out a little bit. Didn't mean to do that. I added these two engines on the back here, just to, it just looks really, really good. And then obviously I added it to both sides. And because this is here now I have a rear landing gear that does not look terrible. That actually looks like it is supposed to belong here. I've got 3 different cockpits down here, as you can see. And I like that about this section of the ship. I also like how there's a little bit of clearance off the ground. I like that as well. And then of course these will fold like they do. Well, they don't fold in the real model. I don't think they do. But they will fold forward, and then of course you could use that as your firing, your laser things. So that's the change that I made there. Because I added this in, I just wanted a little bit more sloping down underneath this section, so I came in and I just added these in. Added these bars here, they're just there for detail. They're really not there for anything. They just kind of break up the line that you get to see based off of that. We still have a cockpit section down here. I need to go through. I'm waiting to put the astronauts in because I'm not particularly. I like the back here, but I don't like the front, and I don't like the bottoms down here. So I need to go through and I need to kind of change those up as much as I can. But yeah, I also took. So there's a. I don't know what they call it, but there's a walker. This is the base of the walker. On top of this is this whole section here, and then connected here are legs. I really like this section right here. This section looks really, really good. This section, to a lesser extent, I don't like this as much, but I wanted something more on the back here because if you remove this and you hide this, there's a lot of. That's not. Oh, yeah. I forgot that these aren't connected to anything because I deleted Technic Axle and then didn't go through and replace it like I was supposed to. Anyhow, if you delete these on out, you can see that there's some wasted space here, and I wasn't particularly fond of the wasted space, so that's why I wanted to keep a section of this here, and this is what came out of it. I don't particularly like this all too much. I think I'm going to end up replacing this this front section here. This section right here I do like quite a lot actually because you can just rotate this piece enough to touch the fuselage here, and then it will kind of close this up, and then it works to kind of round off the back of this. I like that section about it. I don't like that this kind of comes in and breaks the line though, because there's this nice line that starts at the front cockpit of this car and rolls up into the cockpit of the larger tank itself. And to me, that can be fixed just a little bit. So what I'm thinking is we basically just come through and delete this out. Like so. And then kind of see what we can do with the section through here. So we will we'll see about that. I think since the last time we've streamed this, I added this in. So there's just a little bit of space underneath the crawler where the buckets were that turned and stuff to scoop stuff up when you're moving this thing around. I opted to remove those and instead replace it with this little car. This car came from the dropship model, which is one of my favorite models in this entire line. I've been trying so hard to find a spot to fit it in on this model, and I just haven't been able to find exactly where I can put it. This line actually had quite a few different really large models that are difficult to put on without going overboard and making the thing really, really huge. So something that I've been debating for a little while now is whether or not I should delete out these wings and actually replace them with custom wings, which are basically just made with these pieces, essentially. And if I were to use these pieces, we can make the wings a little bit larger, and then it would help the overall aesthetic look of the model if we make this thing huge and really bulky. But I don't know if I want to do that just yet. I would also like to incorporate this into this area here, which we can try to do. I don't particularly know how I would do that. I'm thinking we're probably going to do something like kind of like how gunship doors work, I'm guessing, but it would be somewhat difficult. This entire section here is actually designed to slide out on these rail pieces here that you can see. Um, I don't, I do, but I don't want to do that at the same time. I really like the design of this thing. And it would make sense to have these pods on the end. They could be like fuel pods or something like that. And you can also open these up and they're pretty hollow on the inside. You could use them for storage or a cryo sleep place. It would just, it would work out to have them up underneath here or on the side here. Um, it's just difficult to find where everything can fit that I want to put on it because I want to put an absolute lot of stuff on here. For the most part, this section up here, I'm pretty happy with. Like really, really happy with up here. So I don't want to put anything else up there. I think this section back here could use a little work. I've been debating whether or not this is the model that I want to keep here. There's other stuff that we could use. We're going to go ahead and save this. So all the models in the line are built up here. In this section. So you can see this is the vehicle that goes along with this dropship here. The bar just kind of slides up in between here and here, and that's how the dropship section works. That little old thing that you were seeing off to the side is this. I just deleted the wings and then this gun off of it. I haven't incorporated this. I have not incorporated this. I have not used this yet. I've used these. These are what was on the side. The wheels are missing off of this model. I have not used the trailer. I don't plan on using the trailer. I really haven't found anything that I wanted to use off of this aside from maybe the cockpit piece. And even then, I don't particularly know what I would use it for, I guess. Is there anything underneath here? No. Yeah, this overall to me just doesn't work too well. I think the missiles would be okay to use, but the missiles are just only one thing of this design. I want to incorporate at least one thing from each and every single one of these designs, and that's difficult to do with a lot of the Mars missions sets. Obviously, we have this cockpit back here incorporated, and I've deleted out the legs and placed this section back into here where it goes. And then I haven't really done anything else with that. This is actually custom. There's only one of these, but I added another one back here. Actually, I like it better with two. I've been thinking about whether or not I should take and put this in for the vehicle in the back section. But I'm thinking about this. We're gonna grab this and we're gonna Control C it, and then we're gonna go to the welcome screen. We're not gonna save any of that. We're gonna click on this, the fourth one. We're gonna Control V this entire section in. And now then, the goal is to delete out pretty much everything that deals with the wheels here. I don't really need them. I had an idea that I had not thought about until a second ago. So we're going to come through and delete these on out. There's a lot of Technic chassis down here, right? That I don't particularly need anymore. And I think it would also be worthwhile to kind of lower some of this down just a bit. Actually, that piece was needed. That piece is not. I don't think we're going to need these on the front, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of that. And we're just going to replace those with these, like so, because that actually holds the cockpit in place other than this back section, I think. Okay. So, excuse me. Now we can come through and lower this. Hey, look at man. Try to lower this as much as possible. There's a lot of Technic going on here, and I don't particularly understand what most of it is for. I know the actual model for this one had suspension, I think, or some form of suspension. I think that's largely what all of this going on right here is. There's no particular way to be sure because of LED being LED. So I think that is good for that. I think overall it would be good to delete out that layer of that, and then those are 12s, so I should replace each of these with 10s and do that. So I don't know if they have an 8 by 10, 8 by 16, 8 by 8. So we're just going to use a 2 by 10 for that one there. And that one there. Go ahead and delete out both of those. And now we're just going to drop. How's that connected to one another? Oh, I see. Delete that, delete that. Boom, boom. Hey, aspiring artist. That and that. And now we're going to drop this section down, like so. So that is that section. Before we drop that section, though, we're actually going to take and move this one forward. Oops. So we move that forward 2 studs, I think. Kind of come in and close it off like that. So we can place this. This is a 15. So we can go 13. Ooh, an interview. Good luck at your interview, mate. I hope everything works out for you. I remember my first interview, my one and only interview. Admittedly, I haven't really, I've only ever done one, and I got the job, so I haven't needed to go back for another one or anything. These side plates here, we're ultimately just going to get rid of those because I'm not really going to need them. Yeah, just not going to need them. I also feel like we're probably going to change up how the cockpit section here works just a bit. We're actually probably just take and move it down, to be honest. No problem. Thanks for stopping by and checking out the stream before you go. I appreciate that as well. So yeah, we're going to move this out of the way real quick up to here. Grab this and place it here. What I was going for is basically just taking this and rotating it upside down and then placing it where this is to see how that would work out, and it doesn't seem to be working out the way that I want it to. But I can still use these, hopefully, on this section here for the doors. We will see about that. Just give me like a little sec. Just playing a game. It's one of those like upgrade-based games where you spend more time waiting than you do actually playing. So it gives me, it's easy to like just go through, upgrade everything real quick, and then sit here and stream and let all the cooldowns and stuff go through before I begin. Speaking of cooldowns, I'm going to check to see if my cooldown has ended. The answer is no. I still got another 2 hours for that. I can use that. Okay. Check all of the unit predictions and whatnot and see how all of that is going. Good, basically. So, yeah. Oh yeah, my fan needs to come on because it's getting hot. There we go. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Kicked my mouse, basically. Yeah, the hard part is basically I would have to add a whole bunch of stuff into and then kind of reverse this around so that it sits facing this way with cockpit down here and stuff, and then kind of expand this section out and then place another cockpit and stuff up here, but I don't think that's going to work. I think this is about as much as I'm going to jam pack into all of this space, essentially. I think this is pretty much everything that I can do. I think we could possibly try to get that up into here. So pretty small. We already have one of these actually. Well, I think a different type of this is actually hidden right up there. It's hidden right in here. Yeah, but that's a different type. It's not this type. I don't think anyhow. And then after I get all of this built and finalized, I have to go through and make groups for everything so that we can do really quick things. So I've already finished both of those entirely. So that's those two sections are able to pull off, as you see there. Obviously, this is able to pull off. I need to add these into the group over there. That's able to roll off on its own. That's able to roll off on its own. And then we have just these two pods, despite being landing gear, can still pull off. So those are technically on their own. So mission sets are able to, in some way or shape or form, split up and be module in some sense. So a little bit of that plays into this model itself, being able to separate out to different parts and pieces. So if we let's go ahead and save this. Let's come over to here, and we're actually going to grab, oops, not that. We're actually going to grab just this section, and then come back over. Control V it onto place, like so. And now we're going to come through and we're going to delete out everything I don't need, which is actually quite a bit I don't need. This is the section that I was looking at. Because this, it just works somehow, like as its own standalone type of thing. I don't particularly know where it would fit in, but it looks pretty cool on its own. Ultimately, what I'm trying to say is that, or what I'm trying to do, is going to require me to drastically expand out these sides here and then expand out these the back here quite a bit, as well as come in and redo the majority of the side over through here, so that I can include more sets. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. I don't think I am. So yeah. I feel like we could do quite a bit. I also feel like we could remove this back here and add in a whole nother section that comes down and back up. But I feel as if we do that, we're losing the ability to have 3 vehicles back here, essentially. We got the mining vehicle here, we have this here, and we have the bigger tank here as well. So I don't necessarily want to do that, but we definitely could. Yeah. We we are going to save this file, save as. We're going to save this as 4.5 because I'm about to do a hack job worth of just deleting things. And if it doesn't work out, I need an undo button. So that's why we're going to ultimately start a new save file. So this group, we're going to hide. And then going to grab it like this, add to group, hide, add to group, hide, add to group, hide. So now we can grab this on out. Before we do that, I want to show you guys a cool thing. So you can actually grab multiple groups at once using the multiple selection tool. So we can grab that, and we can grab that, and then we can move all three of these without having to adjust where they actually go. Hey, David. So now I still have all three of these technically connected where they're supposed to be. Or, well, this one is actually kind of floating because I just had to put a spacer through here to get it on there. But it's where it's supposed to be, so that's where that would be. And then this one is also where it is supposed to be. This one's actually like partially touching the studs though. So now we have this huge section back here to work with. And we can come through and delete this on out, like so. Delete this on out, like so. I worked really, really hard on this section, and now I'm just coming through and deleting it on out. So the next thing is actually going to be hiding a pretty good amount of this down to there, and then we're going to delete that. Hide again, and delete that. We're going to unhide everything. You're then going to connect select. This group is this one. We're now going to pull this entire section out as if it was meant to come out, because it is. As you can see, there's a astronaut there. This entire section in here is actually hollow. And then up here in the back is a little fighter that we can drag out. It's connected in the back using just one of these. It's pretty simple. What we are doing tonight is probably building the biggest thing I will ever build within LDD, I think, anyhow. Essentially, we're working on this. This is like This is my attempt at basically taking everything from the Mars mission line and combining it into a singular big ship is my goal. Um, so yeah, I basically what I just so happened to do is that I came to the realization that in order for me to incorporate every single set that I would like to incorporate, I'm going to need to basically delete out everything that I have going on here, expand pretty much all of this a whole bunch because there is quite a bit that needs to happen in order for this to happen. So we're going to come, oh, wrong one, cancel that. This one. So we're going to open this up. This is every single set. This is, I don't really know what to do about this one. This is not even going to fit on. Yeah, I really don't know what to do about this one, but we're going to attempt to get it back in. We have already used this, so we actually do not need this one. Have not used that. We have not used that. That one is here, but I deleted the wings, so we're going to keep this new one. We need that. We need that. We have used this one. I'm going to go ahead and drag both of these on over, just in case we need them. But at the same time, I don't think we're going to need them. We're just going to go ahead and get rid of them. I don't want to add that many bricks in at once, but we can add these in. We're just going to Control C, open up whichever one we need to. Is this the 4.5? Yes, it is. We're going to hit Control V, and now we're just going to kind of get everything placed in so that we can take a look at where we could add things. There's also one more spot that I need to go ahead and start deleting out. Is it bigger than the Jedi Command Gunship? No, but yes. I personally feel as if the Jedi Command Gunship is lacking in the overall refinement that I've placed into this model, because there is a whole bunch of refinement that went into pretty much every section of this model. There's every single technique that I can think of to attach things, close gaps. This section here, all of this is jumpered over, and then this section is attached by Technic, and then there's this gap in here that I tried to close using plates. This section here opens up. It's pretty normal, actually. This is pretty easy. And then back here, this is all side building through here, but it ends like just perfectly here. Like, as you can see, there's all sorts of stuff going on that is more complicated than the JCG. As much as I like the JCG, I also don't like it because it doesn't feel right as a ship. If you take a look at the JCG's overall silhouette, it's really off balance is the best way to put it. It just doesn't look like it can fly. Whereas if you take a look at this section and then imagine the wings coming out here, it looks like it could fly, and because of that, I personally like this one far more than the JCG. So, yeah, yeah, we're gonna delete this off right here as well. So this bar right here is pretty essential, so we're gonna leave it. It is currently connecting the top of the command shuttle thing to the rest of the fuselage, as well as some studs right about in this area, but it's pretty essential, so we're going to leave that. Um, and then, yeah, there's just two pegs is what held on to this thing in the back here, just held on by a Technic and stuff. This was held on by two pegs, this was held on by a peg. That's everything that came off of it. Obviously, these two things are held on used with the ramps, so it's pretty simple. There's really nothing to that. But now I would like to kind of get everything where I want it, I guess. Incorporating this is going to be a huge challenge. We're going to need to expand this section out, and I think the best way to expand the overall section here would to actually be using this right here. So we are going to skin this down as much as possible, which involves actually deleting out the wings. We don't need the wings. If we do, well, I can always just get them off the other model. We are then going to delete that, grab this, delete that out, grab that, delete it out. Excuse me. Come through and remove you and you. Remove you. We're going to replace those with gray versions of these. Actually, we could do twos. So we'll do twos. Like so. Now then, we can, and or need is the better of the words, we need to flatten this as much as possible. So we're just going to come through and do that pretty much. We are going to delete this out, there and there. Come in and put that out. I'm not going to need those or that. That's always stuff that we could just add on later after we figure out where the new spot is going to go. Actually, I want to point out a detail with these jet engines. You can actually barely see it, but it actually starts as a darker blue and then fades off into a lighter blue. Um, it's just a small subtle thing that you probably want to even be able to see on the final model, but while we have it apart, I could always point that out to you guys, so I went ahead and pointed it out to you guys. Keep all that going, delete that out, keep deleting the wrong thing, come through and delete all those pins back out. Now I want to add this on in, basically right on top of this section right here. We are going to ball joint this on up at a slight angle though, because I feel as if it's going to look good with a slight angle. We're going to delete out these. Keep the alien tubes because the alien tubes are important. I did not realize that that one had a tube. I'm going to keep that as well. Delete out the smaller fins and probably replace this with the larger fins in the end. This section right here is actually going to be a pretty cool attachment point to be able to use. And now we just have to add this in on top of the model through here, some way that's using what is already here. What is already here is, well, pretty much nothing that I can see. So what I'm thinking is we'll throw down one of that, and we will see exactly how this fits in to the model up here. So we're just gonna, oh, I mean, that's not what I wanted. It's kind of awkward. We'll do another one, and we'll see how that ends out. If we can scoot that on up, that'll be nice. So we actually need to reverse all that, put that back, and then come and delete all this out. This section actually opens, which is why this isn't technically wasted space, because, you know, I absolutely hate wasted space with a burning passion. I despise, oh crap, go back. I despise wasted space simply because there's no reason to have wasted space on Lego models. I understand that set designers and whatnot have to work within a parts budget and certain restraints and whatnot like that, but at the same time, don't add in all this technic fluff and flair that's not going to be used in the long run of things. Why is this not? It was literally just working a second ago. Wait. It only has one thing underneath it, that's why it's not working. We're going to figure out how to connect this here in a moment. That's right. Don't use connected selection because these technically aren't connected. Like I said, this dropship MOC is actually one of my favorite MOCs out of the entire line. Okay. I like that. I wonder if I'm able to as deep as an angle as I can get. Go ahead and delete out that. I don't know if we're going to keep these pylons right here. I think we'll end up deleting out these pylons and replacing them with something else. Okay. All right. We'll find some more zombies to kill. And then we will be... Oh, crap. Those zombies just randomly disappeared. Those were the ones that I was going for, too. Alright, there we go. Okay, so I think because of how this widens back out here, essentially, we'll basically just kind of use this and widen this on out as we go backwards. So this is going to require a little bit of modifications for later. Delete that, delete that. I also feel like we need more power, so we will attempt to work with that as well. We can delete that out and come in and fill that in as we see fit. We're going to delete these out because we do not need them. And instead, we're going to replace them with black 6s. Same effect is achieved, except not as bulky. So like so. Obviously there'd be a guy fitting in there, or a guy would fit in there. We can, voice crack there, my bad. come in and free this up as an attachment point as well. I feel like we can't just leave this open here. It needs some form of slope off the back end. As much as I like these two pieces, we're actually going to delete them out for this section back there. What? We're going to delete that out as well. Those two things can move. We no longer need you. Okay, remove that Technic. We'll of course replace it with different Technic. Delete that out there. Replace it with these. The heck? Why can't that fit there? I really can't fit there? There we go. That was weird. All right. Yeah. This is now in horrible need of correcting as much as we can. So we are going to work in black for this first layer. Have 4 and 4, so an 8. I'm going to do 3 and a 2. Like so. I'm going to come through and delete that out. And I think we will keep this initial section right there. Delete that. Delete that. Place it with a 4 and a 4. Delete that out. Well, place this here. Place this here. That can't be the only spot that I use 3s on. That'd be 3s somewhere else. Apparently not. Well, we're going to replace that section with 3. We need to come up by 1 more. think that'll be what we're looking for. Just add a little bit of different color here. Now then, white. Like so and like so. Okay. That can be deleted out. That and that as well. I want to keep that right there. But all of that can go. And now I want to go back and use these instead to kind of help with the blend between two curves here, because there will ultimately be two curves here. Like this. I don't like that. I don't want to waste the hollow space that we have in here, because I feel as if it could be beneficial if we use it the correct way, which will require some modifications to be done to this little section in here. This is no longer technically attached to anything, so we can go ahead and delete it out. I did, however, like these and how it was shaped, so we're going to bring the 3s back in. And then this will ultimately, basically what this is supposed to do is allow us to open this section up and then have access to what's below here. Essentially, that's the overall idea of what's supposed to happen there. I don't know if that is what in fact will happen in that section or not. This entire part right here could probably change to something else. This as well. Now that I'm thinking about it, it would be better. I have a pretty good idea of what I could do here. We're going to go ahead and delete out all of this. We're actually going to build that back up. Oops. Build that back up in particular. And delete out that, as well as that. Stop. I hate it when it does that. I don't know why it does that, but for some reason, like holding right mouse button to move and stuff will sometimes, I guess, glitch out, and it will like drag around the model for no reason. It's weird. I don't know why it does it. I don't like it at all. And I really wish it would stop. I'll put a little bit of texture back here in the form of a lighter gray. Now then, I basically want just a bit of this section to be able to open up, and you could have access to stuff that's back here. So we're going to work on that. Here in a moment. All right. So we can delete that out. Delete that out. A 10 will work just fine for what I need it for. And basically the plan is to use these pieces again. They worked out pretty well last time I used them, right through here. You can open them up and use them to store some stuff in there. or just never open it at all. But I feel like they're kind of good to have because you can use them for so many things. They also form a pretty gigantic sectional curve that is also functional, and that's what I like. Because I don't, like most of you know, I don't like to waste space. It's just I keep having the same troubles over and over again, where it just so happens it'll just like randomly jump around to a different section, and that's really getting annoying. Gonna duplicate this on around. So grab a white 1x8, throw this one down here just to get that on. So yeah. So now this is going to be a huge problem. But you can now open this section on up and use it as a place to store things or anything you might particularly need it for. So it's the one good thing about all of that. See, it just randomly did it again. Gosh, that's annoying. It does it a lot too. Put that there. now we should be able to use... Ooh, it did not cover as much as I wanted it to. And that one might work. It's kind of a big wall right here. But we could do... Oops. Something like that, and have just like a little inlet. It won't be as kind of fancy as this one is up here. It'd be really nice to have like custom stickers, and then we could place one right here. We won't have to worry about just this giant white wall right there in the middle of all that. For now, we will roll with this and see where that gets us. That on out. Place that in. Place that there. I don't think these are gonna back up to each other perfectly, so I will probably end up modifying this even more. Oh, does it perfectly. I didn't think it would, but turns out it does. think we can integrate that somewhere up here. I don't know about this. I don't know about that one. I don't particularly know about this one just yet. I have a general idea of where I want to place that one and a general idea of where I want to place these over here. A giant thing of mess and grossness. Hey, what up? We are working on trying our hardest to uh, figure this out, I guess is the best way to put it. We've integrated quite a bit into pretty much everything, but trying to get even more integrated into all of this. So as of now, we've integrated this entire top section up here, and we are kind of coming through trying to fill in everything as best as we can, kind of doing this bottom section down here now, and just trying my hardest to get basically everything back on that we had taken off. Hey Zane, from last time. So I need to take this sound out by 2 more. Just like that. Gonna twist this on around. Place that in like so. And that'll slide right into there like so. I'll be able to grab that and that, like that. And you and the other groups that involve you should be able to fit back on where you go. Hopefully, anyhow. It'll be awkward if it doesn't. I should have saved. Knowing me, the second I go to place this thing is going to crash. And then I'm going to lose all the progress that I had. All right, so that is now in a good spot. That's the spot that it should be in. I need to now figure out what I'm going to do with this section. This section obviously needs to move backwards, but I also feel like I can take and delete out a good portion of this and actually expand how wide that is before adding those outer pylons right here. I feel like we can expand that section just a little bit more before adding that back on. So the only real change that we've done so far is adding this big ass thing right here. So the robot, hopefully, I don't think it will because I don't think I have enough space, but we could try to force it right into here, but I don't think it's going to fit there. But we can, of course, try. I did, in fact, just save using the Control-S command. Thank you, David, for reminding me, because it's always important to save. It is 12:01 though, and I would like to play just a little bit of Smite tonight. I think we've made so far decent progress, not particularly the greatest of progress per se. We've done quite a bit getting this entire top section in here. Obviously we need to work on getting this connected. I forgot that the this entire set right here is actually at an angle. You can kind of see make a parallel line between here, and you can see that they are slowly closing in on one another. This entire model up here is at a slight angle, and if I don't fix that, we will actually end up hurting future progress of this entire MOC. So I think next episode we will be figuring out how to incorporate a lot more of what we see in front of us into the overall design of the model itself. In particular, I am looking forward to getting these into the set. These are just overall really like the body shape going on here, and I like these pods on the end. I don't know why, they just for some reason look really, really nice. And I would like to incorporate them because they have a really neat action feature where basically you can slide the entire cockpit here in and out of this body carriage piece. So but what I'm thinking is we can incorporate them kind of right about this area, kind of like how we've incorporated these, and then you would be able to have your landing gear stay behind, but still have something that comes out. And I like that idea. And then we could always find a different area to incorporate these. And I'm thinking somewhere in this general vicinity would be a good spot to have these incorporated. So I'm having a lot of fun overall because this is a lot to take in. There's a lot to think about, and a lot of different things that we can integrate into the model itself. So the more that we get integrated in, the more we can delete, and the less clustered this is going to look. So we'll take a look at doing that in another episode or another live stream. I also need to work on the channel desperately because there is a lot on the channel that needs to be updated in terms of thumbnails, titles, descriptions, things like that. There's a whole bunch on the channel that needs fixing. So we're going to take a look at that next episode. Thank you guys so much for coming out and watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for re-watching. I appreciate it. Remember to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Ironically, it is social media update day, so I will be posting a screenshot of everything that you see here in work in progress version 4.5 of the MX-81 Hypersonic Operations Headquarters aircraft. Obviously, that is a working title. So yeah, I will hopefully see you guys in another episode sometime later. Remember to follow me Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I already said it, but I post every Monday and Friday, hopefully. So I've missed a couple days, but I'm going to post right after I get off stream. My streaming schedule is technically Wednesday, Sunday. I have a little bit of some trouble streaming on Wednesdays and Sundays now because schedules have changed. But we'll see about what we can do for this weekend. I don't know if I'm going to be able to particularly stream or not. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for 1,000 subscribers. I truly feel welcomed in the community. I know that is because I do a tad variety of different things with the channel. It's not just because I do Lego guns. I know obviously I also do Lego modifications like this, and that attracts some form of audience. Obviously, it's not a huge bunch of people. They're not demanding that I keep doing different things like this, but I am going to keep doing them. So this is what we have so far, and in the next stream, we're going to be taking a look at doing some more. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys later in another